Alright, NG8 on the porch. Talking about these emails and WikiLeaks and shit that's getting exposed. I copied a video from the State Department today, and it's 53 minutes long, but I'm going to cut it down to the good part. The guy in the the lower left-hand corner, when he's doing the questioning, his name is Matt. He's from the AP. And then in the back is the chick, Catherine Heritage, or Heritage, or something like that. She's from Fox News. But she's a former prosecutor, I do believe. This is just a typical State Department brief that I watch every fucking day. I watch them every fucking day. I am more than willing to spend an hour of my time watching their fucking bullshit. And if you want to watch the whole video, I'll put the link down in the description. But oh my God. You get to see the State Department spokesman sit there and obfuscate and lie his ass off. And the reporters try to nail him down. Not going to happen. Which, you know me, I bitch about the media all the time. But Matt and Catherine Heritage, they try to nail him down every goddamn day. And so do some others, but it never happens. Or even if they do, does it make mainstream media? No, it doesn't. They won't post that shit. So I'm doing my part to let you know what the fuck is going on. I want you to watch this. And I thought about coming on at the end and saying, see what I mean? But I don't want to do that. I want you to just watch the exchanges here and watch how slick the spokesperson is, and make up your own goddamn mind. So, good enough. I'm NT8 on the porch. Don't trust your fucking government. Talk to you later.
At the top, Matt.
We'll get back to the Iran thing,
Yeah.
along with some other stuff. I just want to begin with this WikiLeaks stuff.
Sure.
This statement that was put out in Kirby's name earlier, which I'm going to read because it's very short. While our concerns about WikiLeaks are long-standing, any suggestion that Secretary Kerry or the State Department were involved in shutting down WikiLeaks is false. Reports that Secretary Kerry had conversations with Ecuadorian officials about this are simply untrue, period. That's not what WikiLeaks has alleged, because as everyone with an internet connection knows, they haven't been shut down. They're still publishing these documents. What they said, what they claimed, was that the Secretary asked Ecuador to stop Assange from publishing Clinton docs when he was in Colombia. So, and that he had a private meeting with, it says Ecuador, presuming that means Ecuadorian officials of some type. So the denial that you guys have denies something that wasn't alleged.
I think we were
So can you
responding to
can you-
some tweets that we saw
Yeah,
from
yeah,
WikiLeaks.
these are the tweets
But-
that I'm reading.
But let me,
So can you
Sure.
be specific, or are you
Well,
able to be specific?
I can be
Because this is kind of a
specific. I can be
non-denial
I can-
denial of.
Not at all. I'm not, and this is not some kind of wordplay or we're trying to be coy in any way, shape, or form. There were some rumors circulating out there that many of us saw today about whether Secretary Kerry had leaned on or had engaged with President Correa in Ecuador, or I think when he was in Colombia, frankly, about our concerns about WikiLeaks and meddling with regards to emails regarding the presidential campaign. That's just not true. He didn't raise that. He didn't even engage with President Correa when he was on the ground in Colombia. They had no meeting, no bilat or nothing on the margin. So that there was no, there just was no meeting. They didn't discuss any of this stuff.
Okay, well, speaking from the state, all right, that's more specific.
Yeah.
But you understand maybe why the initial denial raises more questions than it answers, because it did not address the primary allegation. Did even if it wasn't Secretary Kerry, has the United States leaned on, in your words, the Ecuadorians through President Correa or through anyone else to get to try to stop the publication of these documents?
I can only speak about the State Department,
Okay,
and they have not. No one in the State Department has attempted to engage with the Ecuadorian government on this particular matter. On this matter, sorry, I'm not trying to be coy again.
All right, and then to the other allegation was that the U.S. was somehow involved in getting the Ecuadorians to shut down Mr. Assange's internet access in the Ecuadorian embassy. One, is that true?
No.
And secondly, does the administration, whether it's true or not, and you say it's not, does the administration believe that shutting down Mr. Assange's access to the internet would have the effect of preventing WikiLeaks from publishing these documents?
Probably not.
So it would be so it wouldn't be worth your while? Is that why? I mean,
It's just not something. I mean, I'm not going to speak to the. I mean, we weren't involved in this. It wasn't our. It was. We had no involvement in any way, shape, or form in trying to shut down Mr. Assange's access to the internet. Your further question about why not, or I don't know where you're driving at with that. You're saying why wouldn't we, or would this not affect him? You had a follow-up question.
Do you think that shutting down, that if for whatever reason the Ecuadorians took away his internet access, that would stop WikiLeaks from publishing?
I mean, probably not. I mean, he would have.
No,
I mean, he would have.
Certainly not.
He would have.
because it
He would
has
have
happened
contact.
and WikiLeaks
Exactly.
continues to
Exactly.
publish.
Yes.
So it is not then an administration goal to try to stop WikiLeaks from publishing these emails. Is that correct?
Again, we've, our concerns about WikiLeaks and in particular Mr. Assange are well known, but we did not have any involvement in either shutting down his internet or any involvement with the Ecuadorian government in trying to take action against WikiLeaks or Assange.
Oh, okay, but you can understand that
Yeah.
do you believe that the publishing of this material by WikiLeaks is interference in the election process?
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, we do consider what WikiLeaks does, which is illegally obtain email correspondence and then publicize it or release it publicly. This didn't begin this past month or so. I mean, we're well aware back in 2010 when WikiLeaks published a large amount of State Department email, or rather cables.
So you're saying that the administration's concern about WikiLeaks and what it's doing is the same as it is the same now as it was back then when they first started.
Yes.
So if that is a concern, why is it wrong for WikiLeaks to think that you are trying to shut them down?
Again, I can't speak on behalf of WikiLeaks, but
Well,
you know,
no,
certainly.
speak on behalf of the administration. Why, if you are concerned and think that what they're doing is, I think what you said was illegal.
We think what they're doing is illegal. Yeah, they are stealing information, and previously government information, and we've made that very clear in our public denunciation before, prior to that, when they
okay.
released the cables.
I understand that that's your position, but that's
But
not
you're asking
actually,
me why-
that's actually not what has happened here. They didn't actually steal anything. They were given this stuff, like in the case of the State Department documents. Those weren't taken by WikiLeaks.
They
They were given, and the act of
They
giving.
were releasing confidential government information. But you're asking me, your particular question was with regard to why shouldn't WikiLeaks believe we were behind this? Ask WikiLeaks. I don't know.
Okay,
We
I
weren't.
will. I mean, I think
We
that-
weren't. They may believe otherwise, and that's,
Right, but
I'm not going to.
can we get to, and
Sure.
I'll stop after this.
Of course.
But, I mean, why is it that you think what they're doing is illegal when they haven't actually stolen this information? They have received it from a third party ostensibly and are publishing it and what they say is the same manner that a news organization would put out leaked information that
We
it had
view
received.
any unauthorized disclosure of classified information by WikiLeaks as harmful. It has harmful implications to the lives of identified individuals in some of those cables and other documents that they've released. We've talked about this many times over, that they put lives at risk by releasing that information.
Yeah, but you're making the argument that these new emails, these Podesta emails, are classified in some way?
Not in any way. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to. I'm talking
You're saying-
about
you said-
WikiLeaks' initial.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You said that your concern is the same now as it was back then, back when they were publishing the State Department cables, and you're talking about there was classified information. But you're not making. Are you making the case? Trying to make the case that the
I'm only making the
campaign
case that
emails
I'm only
are
making
classified?
I'm only making the case that this is confidential correspondence in confidence. I won't use the State Department term for classified. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Kat. Are we done? Guys, I apologize for this, but I can only take a couple more questions. Yep, please.
I just need some help with some timing issues. Based on the FBI summaries, Patrick Kennedy was trying to negotiate changes to the classified emails in May of 2015. Is that your understanding?
I believe that.
So my
No,
question.
hold on.
Okay, all right.
So I believe that we released the document that was upgraded in May of 2015. So while I don't have a specific date of when this phone call took place,
So
I just
the-
don't have it. Sorry, let me
okay,
finish.
all right, go ahead.
It was before that, obviously.
Okay, all right. Why was Patrick Kennedy trying to make changes to the classification of the emails after Congress issued a subpoena and a retention order on March 4th of 2015?
I'm not sure I understand the connection.
Trying to change the emails after March 4th, 2015 would in effect change or alter the evidence that had been requested by Congress.
So first of all, these were documents for public release through the FOIA process, not necessarily what we shared with Congress.
But
Secondly,
isn't the same classification applied for the public
but
document
secondly,
versus
let me
what's
finish.
applied to Congress?
Secondly, with respect to all of the emails that we cleared for publication, not just this one, we went through all of them to make sure that they didn't require some kind of upgrade in classification. And as we've said repeatedly, that was a discussion that we had with many elements of the interagency. And sometimes there were disagreements on that level of classification.
Okay, so I'm clear, you are not disputing that Patrick Kennedy was trying to renegotiate the classification of the Clinton emails after Congress issued a subpoena and a retention order.
Again, I'm not sure that a subpoena and a retention order would have changed our responsibility in releasing these documents publicly, which we were under court order to do, to ensure that where they needed to be redacted, they were redacted. That's just, I don't see the connection. I apologize. Maybe I'm, I never went to law school, so, maybe that's the
Neither did
problem
I,
here.
fortunately. So it's a classification issue, though. Of course, there's a big difference between marking 100 documents classified versus determining that they're unclassified. That's the issue. The issue is that Kennedy was trying to renegotiate the classification of the emails after a preservation
Look,
order and after a congressional subpoena.
The issue is
which
that
in effect alters
Pat
the
Kennedy,
evidence.
as did others, but Pat Kennedy, who has responsibility for classification authority within the State Department, reached out to a colleague, counterpart in the FBI to talk about the rationale behind their decision, their request to upgrade an email classification.
Well, the way it was represented, actually, anyway, in these transcripts,
Sure.
was not that he called to clarify, was that specifically, I mean, not even getting into the idea of a quid pro quo or any of that stuff, that specifically he was looking to get the classification changed as opposed to just questioning the rationale behind it. I think
Well,
there's a big distinction there, Mark. Come
I'm
on.
not sure I understand that distinction. I mean,
Yeah, of course
he
there
had
is.
his own.
There's a difference
he had
between
his
me
own.
asking you why you did it
He
and
had
asking
his
you
own.
not to
He
do
had
that.
his own belief on what level this should be classified at, and that wasn't just his own belief. It was our own considered as a department opinion about the classification level of that document. So for him to call or reach out to another agency and ask them what their reasoning was, and yes, indeed, maybe even question it, is not out of line. I'm sorry.
Why did he want it to be unclassified? That's the main question that she was asking before. What was the purpose of